Hey everyone, welcome to A Healthier You After 40. We are connecting to learn natural approaches to hormone balance, increased energy, better moods, and maintaining a strong and healthy body. I'm Linda Lukovic, your host, and I'm here with Krista. We're going to be talking about sleep today. So Krista Cumming is a sleep expert and a functional nutritional practitioner who helps women over 40 fall asleep and stay asleep without medication so they can wake up energized and live the life they desire. A 30-year-old wellness industry veteran, Krista believes that sleep is the most important pillar of health. I totally agree. Krista has helped thousands of women receive the support that they need and deserve through online summits and her signature program, the Sleep Better Tonight Method. She has been featured as a sleep expert on podcasts such as Midlife Matters, Thriving Thyroid, and Messy Middle Road Trip. She lives in Toronto with her husband and rescue dog, Cody. Welcome, Krista. We're super happy to have you here today because let me tell you, probably like a million of my friends right now and clients are struggling with sleep. And it seems to be, a very common issue for people. So I thought we would just start with a little introduction. Do you mind telling us a little bit more about yourself and how you got into the whole area of sleep? Yeah.
Sure. So, I've been in the health and wellness field for quite some time. I was actually a dental hygienist for many, many years. And I kept getting this intuition that I needed to retire from my dental hygiene job and help women specifically with their sleep and do this online. And I'll be honest, it sounded crazy to me at the longest time. And it kept coming up. I had many patients complain about how tired they were, specifically women. I had friends, family members kind of doing the same thing as well too. And I went through a brief period where I was struggling a little bit myself. Okay. So I retired from my dental hygiene job and now I'm doing this 100%. And I'm so glad I made the transition. It was kind of scary, but I have no regrets.
Yeah, it's funny. I love hearing stories of that too. Like it seems to be a very common thing where women sort of, rethink their lives and make shifts that are going to fit better for themselves. So thanks for sharing that. So, why don't we start with kind of like understanding what's happening? So, you hit your 40s, I don't know, maybe 50s, and all of a sudden sleep becomes a thing. Like you're either waking up in the night or you're having a really hard time falling asleep. And we know our hormones are shifting and they're starting to drop and all of that. Do you mind explaining that a little bit more thoroughly, like in terms of what's happening? Like, why are we not able to sleep well?
Yeah, I would say it's kind of multifactorial. I can't really say there's one thing. I think it's kind of almost that perfect storm.
Right.
And women at this age over 40 have a lot going on. They are working full-time jobs. They may be raising teenagers, which is kind of a stressful part of any mother's life as well too.
Yeah.
They may have aging parents at home. Just living in our modern world is a stressful place. And you kind of couple that with declining or fluctuating hormones, which are in itself, estrogen and progesterone are sleep promoting. And when these start to decline, that's usually when sleep issues start to kind of come up.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm seeing with a lot of women. And also they've been kind of taking care of everybody else. And some of those things that we might have done when we were younger, we can't get away with anymore. And it kind of almost comes to a head. And literally it will keep you wide awake at night until we kind of realize that we need to make some shifts in our life.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. So many people complain about, you have a bad night's sleep, you're not going to eat well the next day because you're craving carbs all day long to keep you going. And then you feel even worse. It's like that vicious cycle that everyone gets stuck in. So it is one of the most important pillars, I would agree. So can we talk about like falling asleep first? Like how can we get better sleep in terms of just falling asleep? I know a lot of people struggle with that busy brain, just like you talked about. We've got a lot of things going on. Is there anything that you would recommend?
I would say for falling asleep, I think the first thing I recommend to people is have a time of when you want to go to sleep. Okay. So if your bedtime, we'll say 10 o'clock. If 10 o'clock, you want to be like lights out under the covers, almost set a time for yourself an hour prior, where you almost set an evening alarm clock where, okay, you give yourself at least 1 hour to decompress, kind of transition to sleep, because I find we're going all day long. We're still folding laundry, we're doing this, we're sending emails, and we don't really have that time to really kind of rest and kind of transition into sleep. So I think first of all, make it a priority. It has to be. It can't be something that we just kind of think, okay, we have to do it. Our body really
Yeah.
needs that downtime to transition to sleep.
Yeah.
Um, I personally recommend, having that time, whether it be a bath or a shower,
Mhm.
helps to kind of, it helps with your core body temperature to cool down.
Right.
Making sure that you have a cool bedroom.
Yeah.
It's very dark. I like to tell clients to make sure it looks like a cave. You want it cool and dark.
Yeah.
And, kind of like how our ancestors used to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Put away our phone, which I know is a big thing, and that a lot of women struggle with, because we want our kind of downtime, our alone time,
Mhm.
and just to kind of almost kind of get away from the day's event. So putting our phone
Yeah.
away, and also journaling at night, or kind of having that brain dump where you can get all those thoughts on your mind, so you aren't ruminating at
Yeah.
night when you're lying into bed. Just
Yeah.
so you have that monkey mind. So just getting everything down, preparing for the next day, and really prioritizing that restful sleep, because I think we kind of need to make it more of a priority.
Yeah. Yeah. No, totally agree. And it's funny, like I still remember, oh my gosh, like when your kids are a bit younger too. And a lot of us are having kids later
Yep.
in life. I had my kids at 36 and 39. And so you're in your 40s and things are shifting and you're still like trying to get your kids to bed and all of that. And then it's like that desire to have like that downtime for yourself, like when your kids finally go to bed. And then when your kids getting older too, right? They're staying up later and then you're staying up later.
Mhm.
And sometimes by the time you're at the end of the end of the day, you just feel like vegging out to TV, right? Or Netflix or whatever. And sometimes that kind of works against you though, right? Because again, it's like a screen and it's going to activate your brain and not as helpful as journaling. So
Right, and that
yeah.
blue light blocks that melatonin, and to be
Yeah.
able to lull our body into sleep, we need our melatonin to be at its highest level at night. And if we don't do that, that cortisol, our stress hormone, is going to be elevated, and it will be virtually impossible. If our cortisol is higher than our melatonin is,
Yeah.
sleep won't come. So we want to
Yeah.
do everything we can to keep our melatonin, nice and high, which will help with the cool, dark room. And also, as we get older, don't shoot the messenger, our melatonin does decline. So we need to
Yeah.
be almost more proactive to
Mhm.
keep our melatonin kind of peaking, and do everything we can naturally to keep it,
Yeah.
at its best level.
Yeah. No, I love that. And I love what you said about being proactive or prioritizing it, right? Because it really does come down to that. Like it's so easy to slip into bad habits, but it's when you realize how important it is to your health, you do make it a priority and then you do all the things that we
Right.
know we're supposed to be doing. So I think that's great advice.
Exactly.
So like what about women who are like waking in the night? Like what's happening with that?
Yeah. So there's a few factors why women are waking up. So usually I'll kind of sometimes ask to what time. So if it's at 1 to 3 a.m., that's kind of a common time that women find themselves waking up. And
Mhm.
that can be blood sugar issues.
Yeah.
If your blood sugar is kind of up and down all day long,
Mhm.
this will continue into the evening. So when we have unstable blood sugar levels, this is a stress in our body.
Yeah.
And when our body's stressed, what will it do? It'll secrete that cortisol, which is stimulating, which will wake us up, and
Mhm.
then we're wide awake. So trying to maintain healthy, stable blood sugar levels during the day is hugely, is really important. And
Yeah.
for some people, I might suggest even having a small bedtime snack before bed if they suspect maybe that might be an issue. Just something with a
Okay.
little bit of protein, a little bit of fat, just to kind of keep you going through the night so your blood sugar's stable.
I think that's great advice. Yeah. Yeah. And so, let's say someone like gets up in the night. Like, what's your advice? You hear all sorts of different theories. Like some people say, oh no, you just stay in bed and try or pick up a book and read or go downstairs. Like, what is the best thing to do if you're still waking up and you just are getting frustrated?
Right. It varies. So it depends on how long. If you're lying in bed for quite some time, I would suggest just getting up. You
Okay.
need to get up, keep the lights down low, do something kind of not stimulating, like really something kind of
Yeah.
boring. You don't want to
Okay.
be, doing your bank book. You don't want to be putting the TV on. You do not want to be looking at your phone at all. So just, folding laundry, having a bath, maybe reading
Mhm.
a book might be a good idea.
Yeah.
Anything just to kind of keep you kind of, non-stimulated really. And then eventually you should feel tired. And when you do feel tired, go back to bed. And then that should kind of help you kind of lull your body back into sleep as well too.
Right.
And also not staring at the clock and calculating how many hours you have until the alarm goes off, right?
I'm sure we've all done that at times. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yes, I've got
A few
2 hours to go until the alarm goes off. So
Yeah.
that is it. And also I find too, waking up in the middle of the night, there's a lot of, we might have some liver issues or liver congestion as well too, because if you follow traditional Chinese medicine, the liver is its most active, not 1 to 3 a.m. So if you are finding you are waking up at that time, all the, consistently, maybe your liver is a little bit burdened, and it's stimulating your body to wake up as well too.
Yeah.
So those are common.
So that's such a great point that you make, because, I hear from people all the time that, later in life, you used to be able to do this when you were young, but when you're older, if you have some alcohol or even like a glass of wine at night, sometimes you do find yourself waking up, and that could be a little bit of that piece there. Yeah. The liver
And your
coming
sleep
into play.
will be fragmented. I sometimes, a lot of women think it might help them get to sleep, and maybe it might. But your sleep will be more fragmented, and you don't remember waking up. You'll probably wake up more often than you even realize, and you'll feel it next day.
Yeah, no, it's so true. Oh, what do you think about napping? There's some cultures that swear by it, right? Like a midday nap, and it even improves your sleep at night. What do you think about that?
I personally love napping, and I nap when I can regularly. I think even if you're not napping, even if you just kind of lie down 15 minutes and just relax, close your eyes, put your phone away, just kind of do nothing really, and just to give your body a break, because it allows your body to process some of those emotions too. If we kind of are going all day long, by the time we get into bed, it's the first time that we're actually quiet, first time we're alone, and we have time to kind of think about all these things, that email you didn't send, or that boss with, the fight with your spouse or whatever. So sometimes even just closing your eyes and processing part of the day will help you later in the evening. If you have a lot of issues with falling asleep, insomnia, maybe a nap's not the best option, but I think you kind of have to know yourself as well too, because it'll kind of, that sleep hormone will, it won't work as well if you are napping kind of late into the day too. So you have to be mindful about how early it is, how long you're sleeping, and also know yourself. But I think a little break in the middle of the day, if possible, is a wonderful thing to do.
Great. Yeah, no, thanks for sharing. So if you had to pick like just one thing, like if you had to pick one thing that you think everyone should do, if they're having trouble sleeping or staying asleep, what would that one thing be?
It would be that make it a priority, really.
Oh, okay, that's okay.
Just because it can't just happen. I think having a solid bedtime routine, but again, what we do during the day, it's not all what we do in the evening. Opening your blinds first thing in the morning, letting that sunlight hit your eyes. It's kind of those gradual steps throughout the day that really are not challenging once you kind of work them into your routine. They don't cost a lot of money. Most of them are free. It's just kind of stacking your day to have those good habits, or those little sleep hacks that allow you to be able to fall asleep night after night. And once you start to integrate them into your life, it's kind of not really a big deal. And it's just making it a priority.
Right. Yeah. Talk to me a little bit more about that, exposing your eyes to light first thing in the morning and going outside, because I don't know if everyone will know that whole connection.
So when you wake up, ideally within the first 30 minutes of waking up, you have something called your cortisol. You want that light to get into your eyes. Yes, the car. There, it's called. And so you can do this by opening your blinds, opening your windows when the weather's nice, sitting outside, and if you have a coffee, tea, whatever it is, getting outside as soon as you can. Just we want that light to hit our retina in our eyes, and that will stimulate to your body that it is indeed daytime. Let's get going. Give us the energy, that get up and go. Give us our mojo to actually get things done. And also, if you can get a little walk in the middle. First thing in the morning too, do not wear your sunglasses.
Yes.
Want to wear a hat. We want that light to hit our eyes, because it really signals to our body, for our circadian rhythm, that it is daytime. Shut off that melatonin. So again, it's an easy thing to do, and it makes a difference.
Yeah, no, I think it's so interesting, because I think that's one thing I didn't realize, was how much stronger natural light is compared to indoor light in terms of the lux.
Right.
That was interesting. Yeah. And so if you have a way to kind of maybe get a dog and force you to go out in the morning to walk, I know it's been the best thing that I've ever done. So yeah, keeps you getting outside. So no, that's great advice. So Krista, what is your freebie? Do you want to tell us a little bit about what your freebie is and where people can find you?
Sure. So it is the 5 steps, 5 easy steps to kind of, start to be able to fall asleep and be able to stay asleep throughout the night too, without dramatically changing your life. And they're just really basic things to incorporate into your life that are easy to do, again, are free, and that will give you that stepping stones to, foundational steps really of what to do. And where to find me, I am on Instagram at My Midlife Mentor. I'm on LinkedIn, I guess, too, and have a Facebook group that everyone is welcome to join. It's called I Just Want to Sleep Community. So it's just specifically for women kind of 40 plus who are struggling with falling asleep and staying asleep. So I have a lot of, free resources there to do Facebook Lives. And, it's just a really, it's a nice community just so you feel like you're not alone, because I think women like that community and that support when they are struggling.
Yeah, I love that you've done this. Thank you so much. And we're going to put all the links below, everyone. So make sure you click on the link to connect with Krista and all her amazing resources. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for doing it.
Yeah, no problem. I'm sure everyone can take at least one nugget and apply it right away to start improving their sleep. And if not, make sure you go visit for some of the free resources. So thanks very much, everyone, and we'll chat soon. Bye.